Alright, so we're back with Gaming Well Wasted, and now we're going back in time. And I'm Protoman, and I'm with
Jaws D.
So let's do some TMNT slash. Actually, don't ever Google TMNT slash. Whatever you do. Whatever you do, do not Google TMNT slash.
Google it. Don't Google it. Google it.
Oh my god. See, and here, here's something too, because I remember as a kid there was actually caveman turtle toys, and I mean there was one thing I always gave to Ninja Turtles was they always were like the survivor of toy lines because they would do whatever it takes to stay relevant. Like,
it's always crazy.
Well, it's because like I remember like when Mighty Max was popular, they did like mini turtle like play sets like Mighty Max, which are the mini mutants, and then
which toy company made Mighty Max? Wasn't it Playmates as well?
No, that was Bluebird. It was actually a UK company that originally made Polly Pocket.
But I mean that when they came out here, wasn't it Playmates as well?
No, it was still Bluebird. It was still Bluebird.
Okay.
It said if you pick up any Mighty Max playset and you look under it, it says Bluebird. And the funny thing is then when I remember when Troll dolls were really popular, they did Troll Turtles, and then when
Troll dolls got popular, they also did Stone Protectors.
Oh god, yeah, they did
the reverse of that.
Did Troll Warriors, I think was another one. But anyways, that's Trolls for boys. But and then
Stone Protectors.
When Transformers Generation 2 came out, and that was kind of the resurgence of Transformer toys, they did the Ninja Turtles Mutation line, which I thought was some of the cooler turtle toys, which they mutated. And at that point, the Japanese kind of jumped on Ninja Turtles also when they started doing that. There's General Tag and the Rock Soldiers.
What was the name of the brown one?
Yeah,
no, not the brown one, the blue one.
The blue one? Oh, I forget his name.
With the pointed nose.
Yeah, he had like the Pinocchio nose.
Yeah.
Right, I like these guys. You throw them and grab their crotch for some reason.
Oh, my knee.
My balls.
Oh, jeez.
My rock balls.
Right. They just explode.
Everything explodes in Japan. Balls.
Oh, jeez, what is that? It's actually smart in this game.
That's why it's a classic, considered the best turtle game ever made.
Ah!
What would you say was your favorite turtle toy of all time, though?
Oh, man.
Everything that's existed up to this point, even including the new classic stuff that's come out.
Oh, man, it's unfair.
I'd
rather go with Era.
Yeah, then let's break it up. We'll go to Vintage first.
Alright, when they came out with those, Ninja Turtles that transformed into vehicles.
Okay, it was part of the Mutation line, then.
Yeah, the Mutation line. So, basically when you had, my favorite of those was, a tie between Michelangelo and of Leonardo, the fire truck, and Donatello, the Ferrari inspired race car, basically.
Yeah, it's true because he was kind of like a race car driver.
Yeah, he was like a white no, it was
I think it was a Porsche. Yeah, it was a Porsche that one. Yeah.
It was a white Porsche, and like it reminded me of one of my favorite Transformers, Jazz.
Yeah, it's true.
So it's like completely white, and I don't remember getting him with the stickers, if he even did come with stickers.
It's possible. I'd have to look into that.
Because I don't remember him coming with
Mount
stickers.
Shredder in the background.
So for that era, it's those two. I haven't picked, I guess I haven't touched any of the 4Kids version.
The 2K3 series?
Yeah, I haven't touched any of that. I haven't touched the NECA lines? NECA? What's it?
The NECA. Yeah, NECA ones were actually pretty awesome, but they're expensive as hell unless you get like bootlegs and stuff. Okay, this guy we have to
tag him on both sides?
Because he's gonna block like crazy otherwise.
Ah.
Probably the hardest boss in the game.
Ah.
Super's not gonna help out.
to get the timing on that.
You know what? I think he's gonna jump from one side to the next. So I'm gonna hit him here, and then when he jumps to the other side, get him from behind when he's reeling. Yeah. Get his binky.
Nice.
That's actually one of my favorite villain turtle toys as a kid was Slash. I always loved the idea of like evil versions of good guys. And like Slash, what was cool about him was he came with like evil versions of all the turtles as weapons. Like the one he's holding right now is the crooked dagger, which was kind of like, I guess the equivalent of Raphael's weapon. And then he had like a crooked like machete that was kind of like a crooked katana. He came with a crooked stick. Well, not a crooked stick. He came with a crooked like mace kind of thing for Donatello. And then he came with like crooked nunchucks, because everything about him is crooked. There we go. Eat that. Eat that.
Well, it kind of reminds me of. Remember, you had the Ronin Warrior toys.
Yeah.
And then so you had all the main characters had their regular weapons, but then you had the main bad guy. What was his name again?
Talpa.
And he had every weapon basically.
Yeah, he came with a whole bunch.
Came with this big like sheet of weapons basically.
Which, oddly enough, is done by the same company. They were both Playmates. So, here we go. Bebop and Rocksteady.
Oh, man. But, then we get to the Nickelodeon toys.
Nickelodeon toys are actually not too bad, all things considered. And they're very, they're a lot smaller than the standard turtle toys we've been used to. I found that as time progressed, turtle toys started getting bigger. The 4Kids one was a larger scale, usually 5 inches. And even when they did Next Mutation, which a lot of people wish to not speak of.
Oh yeah, don't step on the boards.
Actually, that's something I always like to bring up with people when I talk about turtles, is what their opinion was of Venus, you know? I
didn't say anything wrong.
Yeah, you know what?
Why not?
One thing I used to always say about Venus is that the concept on paper always made sense. It was the way that it was executed that I think is what didn't sit well with fans. Like, oh, that she was one of, you know, the fact she came around and now, oh, the brothers aren't brothers anymore, just so she could be a love interest for any one of them. I think that
that's a bit messed up.
Yeah, well, that was kind of one of the concepts, is that, oh, by the way, they're not, all this time they haven't been brothers, just so that Venus being in the bowl with them could lead to romantic, you know, relationships. And I think that's
a bit weird, like romantic relationships for a kids show.
I know, and I think that was something that didn't sit well with a lot of the fans. But again, the concept is good, because I like that. Hey, there was actually 5 turtles, and we didn't learn up until this point. You know, one of them got separated, and that's a totally plausible origin. And have a female turtle, sure, why not? You know, if people could complain about wanting to have a female Transformer and it could happen and no one has a problem with it, then why can't you have a female turtle? It's just the way that it was executed that I think just didn't sit well with a lot of people. I mean, her coming from Chinatown and having an accent and being a master of mystics and having light blue as her bandana instead of just dark blue like Leonardo, I guess. I mean... Or pink if they didn't want to be, you know, too obvious. They could have done, like, I think there's some prototype images of the toys back in the day. I think originally she was supposed to be pink, and then they were like, nah, that's too obvious. Too obvious there.
I don't know, I look at the newer toys from the new show, and I'm just kind of like, well, you don't... Like, they're just wearing clothes now. It's the same basic figure, but they're wearing clothes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about the movie?
No, the current, the Nickelodeon show.
What do you mean, oh, that they're wearing clothes now?
The more, like, when they look at the newer toys, like, whatever they have in the line right now, it's basically, them in clothing.
Oh, you're talking about when they do stuff that's outside of the vanilla?
Yeah. Like, it's, like,
there's always vanilla turtles, and then there's their gimmicks.
Yeah, the line isn't old enough for us to see like all their crazy gimmicks yet.
Well, and that was the funny thing too, was I remember growing up, like just seeing all the turtle toys that were not just the main crew, and just how crazy some of the concepts were, the detail that went into the sculpting back then. I mean, like there was like a surfing Michelangelo that just like, if you really looked at the detail on it, you'd be like, oh, there's little sculpted, you know, starfish on this, and there's a, you know, a barnacle on the back or something. They're toast. They're gonna kill each other.
Oh, there we go.
That was too easy.
But I really do like the you know, the turtles, the main line of those turtles, because they all look the same, but you know, they all got their little facial expressions that kind of definitely give them to be them.
Yeah, made them all unique. Like Raphael has the cracked shell, and Donatello is missing a tooth. Yeah, and they even made them different sizes and height too, which is just adds to the individuality that existed.
Yeah, which is surprising. So like that actually makes you want to get all of them in that run,
instead of just being repaints of each other, which never really happened in the past outside of maybe the Mini Mutants and a few other lines. But there we go. We're gonna fight Leatherhead, another character that's he's good, he's bad, he's good, he's bad.
Oh really? I guarantee.
Well, that's the one. That's the one everyone's familiar with, which is the Cajun.
The Cajun, yeah. Represent Louisiana.
But in different continuities, he's depicted either as a good guy or a bad guy.
Or he just wanted to do his own thing and people would bug him, basically, or assume he's the bad guy.
Well, in the cartoon, he was straight up a Shredder henchman villain thing. Same thing in the Archie comics, but in the Mirage books, in the 2K3 series, and in the new Nick one, he's actually kind of, you know, the you know, misunderstood, you know, problematic drama character, which is like, oh, he has his evil streak, but he's also still a good guy and stuff. Which is, you know, again, the interesting thing with the Turtles franchise is that a lot of that stuff does exist, where there's characters that skate that thin ice of one or the other. And I think, like, the same thing, Rat King was kind of one of those characters where he wasn't, you know, black or white, a villain. He was just kind of, even the toy even said that he had no allegiance, he wasn't part of Shredder's crew, but yet he wasn't a good guy either. The cartoon kind of had their own way of how they did things, but the cartoon was all over the place.
Very much so.
I mean, look at the way Slash was depicted in the cartoon. I always kind of never liked that, how the way they depicted Slash as being a moron, obsessed with a small little plastic palm tree. Where in the comic books, he was actually depicted quite well. Unfortunately, they killed him off in the comics.
What do you think of the Archie comics that they had back in the day?
I think the Archie comics was, just like with Transformers, it was always the better alternative. Well, again, with Transformers and with Ninja Turtles, there was always that connection that because the cartoons were more easily accessible, people identify with it more, and when they think of Transformers and Ninja Turtles, you think of the cartoon. But the Archie comics had a really good story. When it first started, it was being true to the cartoon, but then it sort of broke into its own thing, and it had like the International Galactic Wrestling League.
Yeah.
And again, typical example of the Ninja Turtle franchise would create all these different designs and stuff within their fiction, but yet they would never make toys of those things, which I think is so silly. Because, I mean, just do a black repaint of Raphael. You know what I mean? And you got your oh man, did I just walk?
Yeah, you did walk.
You know, just do a black repaint of Raphael, and you got that, like, you know, ninja / wrestling turtle Raphael. And I mean, was there wrestling turtle toys? Yeah, of course there was, but they weren't done like that. Same thing, like Coming Out of Your Shell never had wrestling. Never had toys accurate to how they looked in that tour. But then when you think about it, even the movie toy Turtles, as much as I love those, weren't exactly accurate to their screen depictions, except for like maybe Splinter. Splinter was pretty awesome. Love that.
Would you ever think that an American cartoon would do something like that, in the sense of, like, you know, a lot of shonen do that kind of thing, like, all right, here's the story, and here's the tournament part of the story.
Yeah, well, see, that's just it. That's one of those things that was unique to the Archie comic in writing style and everything. It was so different from the show. The show was really episodic. It was very let's try to sell the new villain of the day product, or oh, here's Mutagen Man, and you know he's gonna look a little different than how the toy looks, because man, the toys were bizarre on him. Or let's have you know, Muckman, or one of the really weird characters. We're starting with select.
Oops. Oh, I thought I could jump over it. Shooting lobsters out at us? Or crawfish?
Some good stuff. That's nice.
Welcome to the swamp. Yeah, my turn.
And he's gone. He's gonna jump. I think we're creating some kind of time paradox by leaving all these guys alive.
No, they jump off and they kill themselves apparently.
And then some guy in the 18th century is going to find, or 19th century in this case, the steam era, is going to find a corpse of a gigantic crocodile wearing clothing.
Well, the clothing would be gone. It'd just be a giant crocodile with notorious.
You know what I love about this? What I love is it's AD 2020. That's not too far away. And yet, let's see. So let's see. We're as of this recording,
floating discs, baby.
We're 6 years away from this.
F-Zero style.
You know, so I want this in 6 years.
Oh shit! We have to jump over that, right?
No.
Oh, okay, we don't.
In 6 years, I want to see this. I want to see this. This Mode 7 graphics. I want to see my Mode 7 graphics, and
thanks, F-Zero. But
see, now here's the question: is this supposed to be New York? I guess I don't see the Twin Towers back there, so maybe they predicted something.
Oh no! Too soon.
Too soon. Too soon, man. Too soon.
Soon, man.
No, it's hey, man. It's 2020. It's not too soon. It's not too soon.
Oh,
what the heck? I totally forgot about those in the hard version. I like how we're trying to corner with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pizza time. They've got a corner. It's true. It's like F-Zero.
Yeah.
Probably one. It's one of the first games to use Mode 7, along with Pilot Wing, Super Nintendo.
Ah. That's where I'm.
Are we gonna hit a single? Oh, there we go.
I'm trying not to like go down. Just wanna like.
Now we're gonna face Krang in his power suit.
And I think the last of the toys. I didn't. I really like what they did with Bebop and Rocksteady. Those guys are really like different molds for the classics.
Oh, for the classics toy.
For the
yeah,
classics. You're kind of looking a little blank.
Yeah, for the recent classics turtles. Yeah, the Bebop and Rocksteady. It's interesting because it was like a fusion of different aesthetics. I talked about that in one of my toy reviews about that. It's just how there was like so many different mix of aesthetics that they were going with that Rocksteady toy specifically. It was cool that they even had the removable hat and stuff. It's going to be interesting. I'm really curious what the Bay movie is going to do for Ninja Turtles as a whole in terms of, I mean, because I look at, you know, as a hater like the Transformer movies, it really brought Transformers back to the mainstream.
Yeah.
Pow. And he's going to run off. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a break. So this is Gaming Well Wasted. We'll be back to get revenge on a brain.